originally I was gonna ask you my typical question that I always do, and then I decided that I felt like it was gonna take a minute because I don't want to say it's like controversial, but it like has like I think it's gonna be we're gonna like have like a good discussion about my question today. So I was like, you know
Okay.
what? I'm gonna wait and we can go ahead and do our how have you been? What have you been gaming on? What's been going on? Tell me about what's going on in your
Oh
life.
my God, dude. So my wife is in Portugal right now, and she so she's there on a girls trip for like a week and a half. And I decided that I was going to redo some stuff with our bedroom because
Oh, okay.
I was looking around and I couldn't see the floor because she just has clothes piled everywhere. And I then was like, I have like kind of two dressers, or like a wardrobe and a dresser, and she has one.
Mm-hmm.
So I drove 4 hours to our closest IKEA. And I was able to do that. Like right as she was leaving the country, I was like on my way to IKEA.
Uh-huh.
And then I bought stuff, but I had told a few other friends that I was going to IKEA, and like, oh, like I need a bookshelf or I need this. Can you just pick it up for me? And I was like, yeah, sure, yeah.
I don't know about that.
And I get there, and it fits in my car, but like very precariously. Like I'm not doing a 4-hour drive on the highway, and I didn't trust. Like I didn't trust what it was going to do to the suspension of the car.
Uh-huh.
So I had to call a friend to be
So
like,
this
hey.
is a whole thing.
Oh yeah, this was
Oh, hell
yeah.
no.
This is a saga that I am in the middle of, which is why I was like, I don't know if I can record video for today's podcast. So
Keep in
sorry
mind, typically we are recording on a Sunday. This is a Monday at like 5 p.m. Central Time.
yeah.
It's very, very odd timings. Like I've been working, Alex has been doing shit. Like both of us kind of just like are here, I think, right now.
Yeah, and yes, so anyway, so then I had to get him to come meet me at the IKEA, which is 4 hours away. So I went and hung out I spent the night at my in-laws.
Oh
and
my
then,
gosh.
And then he came and he was like, I'm going to get up early. And great, because yesterday I had a meeting at 3. So I was like, I need to be home for my meeting at 3.
Mm-hmm.
And he showed up 2 hours late to my in-laws' house because it was like a 5-hour drive, and he slept in.
Oh dear.
So I ended up like having to I literally was on the side of the highway on my phone on Microsoft Teams with my laptop open with all my notes for this meeting that we had. And then I drive
hell
home
no.
and I, deliver the bookcases, and he helps me unload stuff, and I make him supper as a thank you. And then today was the day that I was supposed to like empty out the bedroom and build all the IKEA furniture.
And your wife has no idea this is happening.
Yeah, and she keeps being like, what are you up to today? And I'm just like, nothing. I'm not doing anything. And meanwhile, I'm like slaving away here, and I didn't even get there's still clothes on the floor, Lizzie.
I was gonna say, you
can't.
can see what I can see, at least y'all can't see, but there's like boxes behind Alex right now.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
And anyway, so I'm just like, I'm a mess of a human today, but I'm glad to be here.
Yeah.
As far as gaming, I am almost at perfection for Stardew. I'm at 91% perfection.
Oh shit.
All I have left are like 3 cooking recipes, and I need to get all the hearts with people. So I have 100 crystallariums just churning out diamonds every week, and I run around with my diamonds over my head just handing out diamonds to people. And I do that for 2 days in game, and then I sleep for 5. Or like if there's a birthday, I'll I'll go out for that person's birthday, wait outside their house, give them a present, and go back.
And then go back and sleep some more.
Yeah, so it's real like the engaging, fun, late game part of Stardew that I love so much.
Is that all you've been doing is just Stardew? You're not like doing anything else in tandem with it?
As far as gaming,
yeah.
No, but I have been watching The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives season 2.
I need to get on that. All I've heard is how interesting it is how good it is, and I need to find the time.
It's a really interesting phenomenon because I noticed this both with, I think, Love on the Spectrum and like season 3 of Love on the Spectrum and season 2 of Secret Lives, where like you have these people that are recurring on this show, but then they get the taste of fame and seeing how sort of the clout kind of goes to like, I don't want to say goes to their head in the case of Love on the Spectrum, but they certainly like, you could tell that they're aware of it, and the way that they present themselves and the way that you can see how fame has rewired everyone's brains. And yeah. And Secret Lives of Mormon Wives season 1 was just crazy because they'd be like, oh, we don't drink, we don't do drugs, but I do ketamine. And you're like, wait, what?
That's a big jump there, dog.
Yeah, but it's okay because it's in a doctor's office, right? So with season 2, I feel like some of that has worn off, and now it's just like some dramas that I'm like, this isn't drama. And there's, anyway, it's wild. It's been some wild reality TV. Reality TV is all that my brain has been able to handle. I know I should probably watch like Invincible for Joey or like any of the other like good TV shows out there, but I'm like, no, just give me, people crying over petty dumb shit.
I feel
and
like
also
my husband,
people falling in love, which is great.
Both love. Of those shows are things that I do want to pick up on. My husband and I have been firing through fucking TV shows as of late, though. Yeah. We're typically like, we do a lot of like rewatches of things. Like we will like every so often we rewatch like, it's like The Office, New Girl. I'll be honest, I always add Parks and Rec, but we've only ever watched it once. We've never went back and rewatched it. Friends is in that rotation, and normally it's like those, and like then for a while like maybe we'll get going like on HGTV, but recently we've been watching like new shows. Like we did Severance, we did Paradise. I think last episode I talked about how we just finished Gemstones. We like flew through that, and now we're on to it's on Apple TV. I think it's called, is it called Our Friends and Neighbors, or Your Friends and Neighbors, or just Friends and Neighbors? It has John Hamm in it. And it is so good. It is, I'm pretty sure it's on Apple TV. And we've talked about this before, that Apple TV does not fucking miss.
No.
This is another one. Does not miss. We have been watching an episode every night. And last night I was so disappointed because we finally caught up to where it is on TV.
Oh, no.
And I was like, son of a bitch. So now I have to wait until Friday for the next episode, which was a really big bummer. But it's been really, really good. So I'll add that to my suggestions on whenever you're ready to watch real TV.
Well, you know what? Love on the Spectrum is real TV. And you know what? Out of all the trashy reality TV shows that I've watched recently, I still think you should watch Temptation Island. Love on the Spectrum has a warm place in my heart, but I know how much you liked Love is Blind, and I think it is scratches a similar itch of just, it's wild. Anyway.
I used to watch a lot of trash TV.
And then you got Taste. I get it.
No, it was
more
funny in college. It was like every like Wednesday night or something. My friend used to come over and we'd go get Wendy's and we'd watch Keep It Up with the Kardashians.
Oh, I thought it was The Bachelor. Is The Bachelor Tuesdays?
I don't know. And I only like, I say recently very loosely, like in the last like a handful of years have I started kind of getting into The Bachelor, and it's only, and now it's like really like I have to really be interested to get into The Bachelor, Bachelorette, because it just is it's time consuming, and I end up like just skipping half of it anyways.
That's fair. I found there's a YouTuber who's done a few like multi-hour summaries of like particularly awesome seasons of The Bachelor, and I've watched that. I have not actually watched like the show, and I don't think I would.
Recaps.
But watching someone else explain the show, like it's much better. It's I can handle that. I'll turn that on while I work. I don't need to watch an episode talking about people making love in a windmill. I can just watch the summary
talking about
the windmill.
Love in a windmill.
4 times.
I have definitely seen. I've seen that clip before. I do know what you're talking about because I'm on TikTok chronically at this point.
I'm off the talk. I'm off TikTok. I'm off Threads. I'm only on Instagram to to send terrible memes to my friends, and then that's about it.
TikTok is such a deep dark hole, and I love it and I hate it, and it's sad that TikTok is where I get most of my news from. I'll be so for real, like that's
You're so
where
American.
I like. Yep. So like literally 90% of my news comes from there, and then like if it's striking enough that I'm interested, I will take it to like Google and start looking up more things. But
Sure.
everything I need to know about most things, I find it on TikTok, and I'm like, all right.
It's great.
It's so bad. Like everything that I
notes.
want. If I want like recommendations for things too, like if I'm going to get like new makeup and I'm like, oh, I really need a new mascara, TikTok, open it.
Yeah.
Quick, fast, in a hurry. Fucking attention span. Welcome to the life of living on TikTok, because everybody's attention span is shot to shit because of it.
Yep. I need to get off Reddit is what I need to get off of.
I had Reddit. I have an account. I never use it though. I'll be honest. Most of the time I'll Google things and I'll like Google it and then I'll put Reddit at the end. I'll find what I need and I won't. That will be about it. That's all I use Reddit for.
Well, the really toxic thing for me is like a lot of the like news stuff on Reddit is a little like it makes you, instead of reading the article, it's just like, here's a sensational title, and then comments of just people like doomering about it, instead of me going and reading the news.
Yeah.
And frankly, I shouldn't be reading the news at this point. So I need to get off Reddit for that reason. But that's where I get my gaming news. So it's a double-edged sword, because I want to hear about the gaming stuff.
See, I get my gaming news on TikTok.
I need to know when the full release of Fields of Mystery is, you know? I need to be on Reddit for that.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. I didn't think about that one. That one, I knew you did say that you're interested in that one.
Oh, I'm going to be playing that as soon as it comes out. But I know it's out in early access, but I want to wait for like the whole thing. I don't like. I did the same thing with Baldur's Gate 3. I was like, I'm not playing it until it's fully out.
Yo, oh my god! Sorry, not to interrupt, but speaking of gaming,
Expedition 33.
It's killing me, dog. It is literally, oh my god! It's all I think about.
Really?
Like for the past, like yes, like I'm so excited to be here. Don't get me wrong. I love doing this. But god dang it, I was like, fuck, I just want to go home and play my game. It's so good. It is seriously so good. But I was also like really excited to come on and tell you about how much I'm enjoying this.
That's great.
I think like again, I think I mentioned this last time. I still am not like turn-based is still not my favorite style of gaming, but I like it enough to keep playing. But the story and the graphics, it's killing me, dude. It is killing me. It's so good. This game has made me cry twice already.
Wow.
It has me hook, line, and sinker. Like I am in on this freaking game. It is incredible. I will say I've moved it from like a typical, like I think what their like intermediate difficulty is. I did change mine to story, so it gives me a bit more grace.
We're over the age of 24. What are we doing? Let's play story mode and just have a good time.
Yeah. For a while I was like, oh well, I don't have anything else to play, so like I don't care if it takes me a few times. But then after getting shit on by parrying and dodging and being like, I don't feel like spending another 20 minutes to do this boss, like fuck this, I'll just put it on story mode, because at this point, like I don't want to say that's all I care about. Like I said, I'm enjoying doing the battles and everything, but I am just ready to get to the next cutscene to see what the hell's happening, because it's incredible. I literally sat in the edge of my seat last night until like 10:30, which is way past when I should have been off, just like enthralled in what's happening in this game. It's so good.
Great. That's great.
So that's been taking up all of my time. No games, no repo, nothing. Just Expedition 33.
I do think on the topic of games having releases and like turn-based combat, I think Sea of Stars has a free DLC coming out soon that I might play. I think it comes up tomorrow.
Oh.
But I need to beat Stardew. And then we'll see. That might be the next little gaming thing I do. But the Switch 2 also comes out soon, so we'll see.
It is weird not having a next game. I don't know what I will play next. Right now, it's going to be a lot like, I think, Dragon Age, where this is going to be my personality for a little bit of time.
And then you're going to have an existential crisis for 3 months until you find your next personality.
basically.
That's
the other half of my personality right now is Pokemon, and that's really bad because it's literally my entire fucking life.
You can try, like, I feel like if you're okay with turn-based combat and you want a cute little Pokemon game, Let's Go Pikachu or Let's Go Eevee.
Shit, that's right. You said that last time. I need to download it. I literally we're not putting this video up, but I'm holding a box of freaking.
Wow, you found cards. Who did you have to murder to find a Pokemon card in the United States?
No, you want to know what's cool about this box? This is MSRP. I bought this off the Pokemon Center website with a drop. Well, wow. I did not. My friend Liv did. I gave her the intel to know that the drop was coming, and I said, listen, I was at work, and it's really hard to get into those drops on a phone. Like, it's really way better if you have a PC. And she works at her computer, so I was like, listen, here's some information for you. They're about to drop some stuff. Can you get in the queue? Let me know what you find. Depending on what it is, I will pay you if you can just get me a box. Wow. And so she got herself a box and me a box, which was really cool. And mine just came in the mail today.
Yay.
Yeah.
Which
so
set is it? Journey Together?
This is no, I don't do Journey Together. I don't like that. I don't like a lot of the cards. This is the Prismatic Evolutions. And typically I won't buy it, but again, I got it from MSRP and I was like, I'll do it though.
How many packs are in it?
6.
Not bad.
Yeah, not bad. It's like MSRP is like $24.
Oh, that's a lot better than like Magic the Gathering. So.
Oh, really?
And we'll be getting into that.
So, but I also wanted to share my experience as I went to my first ever Pokemon card show.
Yes. How did that go?
It was a lot of fun. I really did enjoy it. It was really, really cool to be surrounded by people who were very much interested in all the same things. Cause like my husband just kind of puts up with it. I'm very glad that like all of my friends like it as I try to get into it. So I'm like learning things and talking to people and it's just exciting to be like, I like this, blah, blah, blah. It was fun. It's expensive because at that point you're paying scalper prices, but I kind of went in there knowing like, you know what, it is what it is, whatever. I don't care. Had just a great time. It was the first one I've ever been to. So it was also,
you're able to like do some trades and buy singles. Did you buy any singles or did you?
Okay. So that was the other cool thing is like, that was my first time trading cards and buying a card like from like somebody else's like set kind of thing. Yeah. I had 2 full art. I think I've showed them to you. Pidgey cards.
Yeah.
My controversial quote unquote opinion.
It's not. I just think it's the most mid Pokemon out there. There's a lot worse. I got flamed for this, and I don't understand.
I got flamed.
I don't understand why people are like, oh. It's a hot take to say that that's the ugliest Pokemon out there when there's a lot of uggos out there. Okay. And Pidgey doesn't show up on the lists of like least popular Pokemon anywhere outside of our friend group Discord.
Anyway,
I
traded my 2 full art Pidgeys. I couldn't even tell you which ones they were. I'll be honest. One of them was green and it was ugly, and the other one was big and blue. And I pulled that blue one a long time ago before knowing what I had. And I remember being like, ugh. And then I realized, I was like, oh, I pulled a fucking full art card. Like how that was actually kind of cool thinking back. So I traded
your first full art.
Yeah. And it was like, this was like in November of like last year, I think. And I just like, we happened to go into a card shop for my husband. He wanted baseball cards. And I was like, I want a Pokemon pack. Like picked like, I couldn't even tell you what pack came out of. It was like random. I was like, sure. Took like 2 packs home with me. Found a full art, had no idea what that even meant and how cool that actually is to pull out of like a single pack, you know, kind of thing. Mm-hmm. But I kept it in a box for a while, like all of them, just being like, oh, maybe I'll get into it. Now months down the road, I pulled it out and I was like, interesting. Didn't know what I had when I had. So I traded those 2 for those 2 and a Belly Bolt for which one was that? I traded those 2 for the Obsidian Flame ETB.
The Charmander.
The Charmander in the window.
Yeah. Oh, that's cute.
So that was a card that I really, really wanted. And then, I bought my first personal chase card that I wanted, which was a Cleffa from Obsidian Flame, where she's like on this rock in this really pretty lake like thing with a shooting star above her. Mm-hmm. It was the first card that like stopped me and I was like, holy shit, I want that, which is what started me buying Obsidian Flame. But then I pulled the Charizard And after packs and packs of fucking Obsidian Flame and then pulling the hit, I was like, I can't keep pulling cards just for Cleffa. I'm just going to outright buy her.
Yeah.
So bought that, bought some expensive boxes for $151 because they're impossible to find right now. So I just had to suck it up, buy them. Didn't pull anything crazy, which was a little disappointing because I would have peed myself if I would have pulled a Charmander or a Charizard, but it's okay. But yeah, more or less just had fun.
Had I known about this, future Pokemon craze, see, I had, when I streamed Pokemon, I had a reward redemption thing on my stream where I would open up Pokemon cards. I think that started around a charity thing. So I had a bunch of sealed product and I literally just gave it to my friend. I was cleaning out my closet one day and my approach to cleaning is just throw everything out. If I just chuck it. I don't want to find a new home for it. If it doesn't have a home, it's not living on my floor. It's just gone. And I was like, well, okay, this is like, people enjoy Pokemon cards. Here you go. I have a binder of like some full arts somewhere here, but
we should take a day one day and let me see some of them because I would probably love to see some of the things that you have.
I think these are the remnants of my like opening on stream. I have it in a little Master Ball binder, and like there's some cute stuff in here.
Dog, you got up. I'll just be so for real. You got up and I was like, I literally hand in my head was like, this man has jorts on.
I do have jorts on.
I want everybody to know.
I love my jorts.
Walking around in jorts.
But I'll send you some pictures. And I like this Espeon one a lot.
Oh my gosh. Did I see a Mew over there too?
Yeah, there's a Mew.
Oh, dog.
Just some cute little guys.
I gotta stop saying dog. I listen back to me saying it sometimes and I'm like, ooh. Oh my gosh.
Yes, I'm a wearer of jorts. I'm a proud owner of several pairs of jorts.
Oh god, we're just gonna move past the jorts thing, okay?
Just in case we cut out the Pokemon segment, I just wanted to be like, let it be known.
Okay, so here's my kind of controversial but not controversial like beginning to the rest of our topic that we're going to talk about. In the area I live in, there's a bunch of Facebook groups for like girls and like girl groups, whatever. And it's funny because I see it all the time. They're like, what is your biggest red flag for dating guys? And every fucking comment is always, if they play video games.
Shouldn't it be if they're married?
That's a good one, actually. But it's so wild to me that it's so popular of an opinion that if a guy plays video games, that's a red flag. And in retrospect, like in a point, I kind of get it because I think it can be very consuming and it can be very like time oriented and there's definitely can be a lot of people who have a negative like relationship with video games. But it's like, I never thought that many women would be like, if they play video games, I won't date them.
I also wonder if there's sort of like some cultural connotations around like identifying as a gamer, as a guy that like perhaps signals certain worldviews that women may not jive with. I don't know. I'm not.
Yeah.
It's just a wonder if there's like, if they think that there's some sort of like, something beyond just like playing video games. That is kind of absurd to me that it's like,
because my mind instantly goes to like, you must have been dating a guy at some point who had like some kind of bad relationship with video games, because my first moment goes to probably time. Like, it's time consuming. There's a lot of people out there who don't manage their time on games versus like real life, especially in like relationships and everything. Like, I mean, I think of like college, and at the time, like my husband played a lot of video games, and I remember it being like a moment of like, hey, like you have to hop off the fucking games and come hang out with me, kind of thing. And then
he was like, no, you have to hop on to WoW.
yeah. And now he'll tell you, he's like, I there's a lot of my guy friends who are very jealous that I have a wife who also plays video games because it allows him to play video games. But it's just like every single time that I see girls be like, I won't date a guy if they play video games, I'm like, there must have been something there, because if you can if you can have an open conversation and you can be like, hey, listen, you got to put it down, like, but it's just, I don't know. I saw it the other day and I was just like, it's wild how many women are like, if they play video games, I won't date them. Wow. Okay.
I mean, I don't talk to many women about their dating preferences and men, but I do a few, I guess like it's never been a problem in my relationship.
Yeah.
As far as like, cause like Jess and I, we played board games together, but I usually just tell her like, hey, a new Zelda game's coming out. I'll see you next month. And then she just gets it, but yeah, maybe it's just very common for like gamer guys to ignore their girlfriends for a week when the new COD comes out. And
I want to talk to the opposite direction though. Like,
yeah,
is there any guys out there who's like, if a girl plays video games, red flag, won't date her? Is it the same thing and vice versa?
I don't know. I've been dating the same person since I was 17 years old.
I know. I'm out of the loop.
I'm not hip with the kids.
Say hip.
I also feel like I feel like when guys talk about dating, I feel like there's not a lot of times where I've heard of a guy saying, "Oh, she was into thing X, so that besides astrology, so that was a red flag to me." I think astrology is the gaming for women. Right?
I've seen like memes of it where like a mom, like their son like texts them. They're like, "Hey mom, what time was I born?" And the mom will be like, "Nope, you're not doing this. Just we're done with her now."
Yeah, you know what? At the same time, I think the same guys that complain about dating astrology girls all can tell me what their rising moon is because they've dated enough astrology girls to know that.
True.
So I don't know. I think red flags like that are a little silly. I think there are much more important things like how do they handle an argument? What's their relationship with their family like?
Political stance?
Yeah. Do they listen? Like, if I, do they listen to Joe Rogan? Like that's a bigger red flag to me than do they play a video game?
Yeah. But I brought this to the table because our topic today is icks and irks in video games, or surrounding video games too, because I do have one that is not necessarily in video games. It's more like surrounding video games.
You said gaming, so I have some tabletop gaming stuff too. But yeah.
Okay. Hey, no, that's good. I love it. I'll go first because this one's really probably the only like actual ick that I have. That literally I see people do it when gaming, and it literally I'm like, please stop. And you're going to laugh at me here in a second, and I will go ahead and say it is the black or the kettle. What is it? The kettle?
Pot calling the kettle black.
Yeah. I'm the queen bee of overreacting about video games. I scream at games and I get pissed off.
With you.
Yes. And so I shouldn't really be talking, but I like people who genuinely like, I think mine is a bit like, I just am a high energy person when it comes to video games that I get angry, but I don't get like angry. It's more like funny angry. It depends on the time. Don't look at me like that. Alex is like, yeah, okay. But watching people who get like so mad, like I'm talking like throwing controllers and stuff, I'm like, no. Like I need you to just stand up and walk away. Like there comes a time where this is like, it is not enough to get like red hot fucking ready for your head to pop off.
Yeah. I mean, like I find like it's just gaming. Like you're just playing a game. You're literally just playing a game. The stakes are so low. But I think there are people that find it very like cathartic to like yell and curse and say, and even that even that level of anger makes me anxious.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I get why some people like get really angry at a game or at their teammates, right? I think that's one of the reasons why League of Legends is so toxic and B so popular. Like I'm sure there's like a catharsis to it, but I agree. Like I get really uncomfortable with rage, but I think that's also because I'm
it's funny because
even person.
I don't get uncomfortable. I just am just like, ugh. Like there is like a level to it because like don't get me wrong. Like I get like last night was getting pissed off at the game that I was playing because I couldn't beat this boss and I wasn't parrying very well. And I was like, you dumb bitch. Like, like yelling at the TV. But then like there's like a whole different level when it's like you can feel that it's like pure serious anger of like, I'm going to throw a remote. I'm going to throw a controller. I'm going to break something. And that's when I'm like, oh, no. I don't find this funny anymore. It's no longer funny to watch you bitch at a game. Like, I'm like, ick, gone.
I'm
no
out.
More. Yeah.
Sure. For sure.
Did you feel like you had any like icks or most of yours more like irks? The rest of mine are irks. That was the only real ick I have.
How do you define the difference between an ick and an irk?
So this one, okay. And that's why I kind of was like, they're kind of two of the same. I don't really know. This one, that ick was like me, like physically, like I like get like the ick. Like the ick. The rest of them, they just like irk me on a level, like a low level, I guess.
Okay. Sure.
So that's why I was like, most of them are probably going to be irks.
As far as like icks go, then, I would say people not knowing the rules to a board game when they invite me over to play like a board game night.
I can understand that, especially because I feel like you hold like really high expectations, especially like when you invite people over. Like you're like, okay, I'm gonna have this all ready. I'm gonna have it done, ready to go.
Yep.
So I can understand like you having like high expectations going to somebody else's house.
Well, I think when you host a board game night, you're like an ambassador to the hobby.
Mm-hmm.
And even though I'm as entrenched in board games as you can get, like every board game behind me on this wall has been crowdfunded except for like maybe 2 of them. But that said, like if someone's like, hey, I have a new game that I want to play and I want you to come over to my house and we'll play it. And I'm going to host this.
And then you get there and they're ripping the box open.
Yeah, they're like taking the shrink wrap off the box now. I'm like, no, honey. I have things to do after this. And this game is going to take 3 times as long now because you weren't prepared. And then they like read the manual to you out loud instead of like figuring out how to actually explain it. Or we will like there was one time I remember the first time I ever played a game called Eclipse, Second Dawn for the Galaxy. Very popular like 4X game, kind of like Civilization but in space. And it's kind of complicated. And it's, like a 3 or 4 hour game for like a group of 4 or 5 people to do. And he like was just reading the book and then he got confused and it's like a 50-page book. And I was like, okay, look, there's a YouTube video out there. We're just going to watch the YouTube video. So I stopped him mid-explanation and said, let's just watch the YouTube video. And
oh, man.
So we sat there for 45 minutes watching a YouTube video on his TV on how to play this board game because he did not take the time to learn how
I'm
to
not
teach
sitting
it.
through a 45-minute video.
I didn't want to either.
Yeah.
At least not with my friends.
No.
It's to play Twilight Imperium. You need to watch the RTFM video on it, but you shouldn't have to do that at board game night. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So it's a big ick, and it affects my willingness to play board games at someone's house again, which is I think one of the reasons why I like to host, because then I'm like, all right,
in control.
I know that this is going to be a fun night because I'm going to pick games that are appropriate for the group of people. I'm going to learn it beforehand, have it set up, and like ease them into the teach. So, anyways, that's my big ick.
Yeah. I'm trying to decide because I have like a few irks that like some of them are really silly. Some of them like I really do bug the shit out of me. But the first one, when I very first thought of this idea of like icks and irks of video games, it was because of the game that I was just playing. Oh my God. Oh, Blueprints.
Yeah.
In that fucking game, literally every single time there's a room with 3 boxes. They all have these stupid little riddles on it. You get a key. Well, the animation for the key is literally like 7, 8, 9, 10 seconds. And every single time you pick it up, you have to watch the fucking animation for it. I'm like, I've already picked this up. I've played this game now for like 10 hours. Please don't make me watch the same animation for something I've picked up 12 times.
That's just like in was it Skyward Sword, the Zelda game, where you had like every time you picked up a rupee after like loading the game for the first time, it like tells you like you just picked up a red rupee. It's worth $20. Like spend it at a store.
Yeah,
and it's like I know.
I got it.
We are
Thank
at the
you.
fourth temple.
Yeah,
we've been here.
Yep.
I think it's the same idea, right? It's just like get on with it.
Yes, like I don't need you to tell me exactly what it does every single time. Like there needs to be like a fail safe in there that it's like, okay, you've played it once, like especially because like yeah, it's just like if you've already played an hour into the game, there's no reason that something should be telling you what this thing does. Like just pick it up, let me move on.
Well, and I you know I know it's a roguelike and you're repeating, but there are some things that carry over from day to day in that game, right?
Very
like rooms and stuff, like unlocking.
No, not really. The only thing that really you can carry over like it's hard to explain without having played it because there's a lot of pieces to it. But like, if you picked up a blueprint for another room, like to draft that room, you could carry over those ones potentially. But it's for the most part, yeah, you are starting over. But again, like it's counting days. So like after a day like 3, like okay, I've already had this information more than once. I don't need it now on day like 65.
Or just like have a flag that the first time you interact with a key, you get that, and then never again.
Or like you have to check the box, like don't show this again. Yes, please don't show this again.
See, yeah, Blueprints is high on my list of things. I'm waiting for it to go on sale though.
It's I'm telling you, it is so good, and I did finally put it down just because we started playing Repo a bit more again. Then you
beat it, right?
I did. Well, it's hard to explain. There is more stuff after what most people would consider beating it, quote unquote.
Sure.
When you make it to the room, there is more stuff to do. My big like thing was getting there, and I think at some point I will go back and do some of the other stuff that's like further down the line. But I didn't I don't know if you
room 44 or whatever you're trying to get to, or
something like that. I can't remember what it is.
Okay.
I have Expedition 33, so 33, the number lives in my head now. So
sure.
Go ahead. You got one?
Yes. So mine is font.
Okay.
If the font in a game like either just doesn't match the vibe, or you know, like for instance the Final Fantasy games, like they redid and did like a pixel remaster of I think 1 through 6. Yeah, they did 1 through 6. But one of the things that a bunch of quality of life updates and new menus and stuff. But one of the changes they did was like the font is just this really ugly sans serif like font, very modern looking, but also like thin and doesn't like I'm like, why didn't you take 10 minutes of any of your graphic designers' lives and just poured over literally any sort of 8-bit themed font? Like just go on the internet and Google 8-bit Final Fantasy font and you'll find a million open source ones you could have used. But instead they have it in fucking like Helvetica. and I'm just like, I uninstalled when I saw those fonts. God. I uninstalled.
It triggered you.
So I don't know if that's an ick, but it irks me.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm very sensitive to bad fonts in video games.
Oh my god, our friend Liv is going to be living her best life when she hears this because she is a graphic designer. Yeah. And she's very particular about fonts. And I wish I knew what the font name was, but this bitch can pick it out of anything and be like, I hate that font. That's blah, blah, blah. And so she picks apart fonts in like games and all that kind of stuff all the time.
It's great.
And we always give her shit because like she'll like get a job and be like, oh, I got to go pick out a font. And she will sit there for hours downloading fonts. And keep in mind, guys, this is also the same person Let me give a huge shout out to Liv again, because not only is she a friend who I hang out with a lot, is the one who grabbed the Pokemon box for me, but who also is the one who made all of like the
Our branding.
all of our branding stuff.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting to go through picking out stuff for her, because I let her have her moment, then she gave me like 6 or 7 options that we kind of like worked through.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a big thing, because me and her have very different styles. I love like thin, slick letters. She hates it. She's like, Lizzy, nobody's ever gonna be able to see this. You understand this, right?
She's
so,
right, because you're looking at like a tiny little box on a phone screen.
yeah. So, but she did such a perfect job on all of our stuff. So she's always like, maybe one day we redo it. And I'm like, no, I loved it, and I'm not a person of change. It's never gonna change. Okay, maybe season 2, but even then, I don't know about that. We'll see.
We'll see.
Let me see.
Maybe when we get to 100%, we'll have to change it.
Yeah,
Episode
I know.
100.
I think my other big ick, and it's not, or another big irk, and it's not very often that I run across games that have this, but poor explanation, like teaching of the game, really bothers me. I don't want to have to figure it out by myself. I don't want to have to go to Google to figure out how to play the fucking game. I was playing V Rising, and I couldn't get into it, because I was like, I genuinely don't have a good direction as to what I'm supposed to be doing besides building like my base. And don't get me wrong, I love Sims like games, so like building a house is not foreign to me as like a driving force.
Yep.
But besides that, I kind of was like, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing here. I don't totally understand like where I'm supposed to be going, what the map is supposed to be like, where, besides like building a base, what is my point here? And so I had bought it on Steam, and I did like it. It gave me, I'm gonna say World of Warcraft, and people are probably gonna yell at me because of it, because it's nothing like World of Warcraft. That's just the closest thing I can compare it to. I liked it, but I just was like, I got bored, because like I felt like there wasn't a good direction, and there wasn't like a good like story or anything that gave me like a driving force. And for me, that was like a kind of like, I was like, all right, I'm done. I played like a few hours of it, and I ended up refunding it on Steam. Which, you guys, if you didn't know, you can ask for refunds. You have to like play like under 3 hours of it though.
Fair. I watched a really interesting video kind of related to that top point of like not having clear directions in games. About a guy who tried out cozy games because of his girlfriend over the pandemic, and he was talking about how like in a game like Animal Crossing or The Sims, or like he had a few other sort of cozy farming sim type games that don't give you like, okay, here are your goals. You like it's almost like you have to be an active part in like creating the story and the objectives for yourself. Like I'm finding that with Story of Seasons, even like a bit where it's like, okay, I don't know what I'm working towards besides like, marrying someone and upgrading my farm. And he coming from like a Valorant or something where like you're ranked and it's very structured. He found that his impulses in gaming was just to like min-max the shit out of it, and watching his girlfriend like try to decorate it and make it aesthetic. That it is interesting how people's brains kind of take that freedom and how you choose to use it. I think it says a lot about people.
It is crazy though, because like with like Stardew Valley or like The Sims, and I think even The Sims is harder, because like Stardew Valley, you still have a pretty good sense of direction, I think, of like
the community center.
With like Sims, like it is kind of funky. You do have to really go in and like plan your own storyline of sense. I never had a problem with that. It just was this one with like, it was just felt so different of like, I felt like there was something I wasn't being told. And I didn't like that. Like I felt like I was being left out of something, and like felt like I needed to start Googling like, how do I play the game, or what am I supposed to be doing? Like literally I feel like I'm just running around killing things at this point. Like it was showing me like how to make a base, but then I'm like,
for what?
Yeah, exactly. Like for what? Just to not allow beasts in and to take all my shit? Like
that's how I feel in Minecraft.
I've never played Minecraft. Everybody gets up my ass about it, but I'm just like, meh.
I am in the same spot of like, I'm dropped in this world and I'm like, okay, I can dig a hole. Great. I have dug a hole. I have found some rocks to hit with other rocks.
Uh-huh.
Cool. Now I've been dropped into hell. Oh my God, what is this? Whereas like yeah, it just doesn't maybe because I was not the right age for it or what, but I've never been able to get into that game.
Our great friend Kelly,
yeah,
I stopped in her stream before we started this, and she was talking about Roblox.
oh yeah,
and I think that she was about to play Roblox, and I was giving her shit, and I was like, I use Roblox as an insult. Like, you sound like you play Roblox.
I've never played Roblox.
Neither have
but
I.
I have watched a 5-hour video essay about the oof sound from Roblox. That is maybe one of the best videos on the internet. All about plagiarism.
You lost me at 5 hours. I'll be honest.
No, I'm not recommending it to you.
Yeah,
I'm just saying that H Bomber Guy's video essay about Roblox is one of the greatest creations in all of YouTube.
For 5 hours?
It might be 4, but it's a long video. I listened to it on 2 times speed while I work because I listen to all YouTube videos on 2 times speed because my brain needs people to talk faster.
Holy mother Moses.
Yeah.
Your turn. Go ahead.
Okay, I was like, we could talk about sim games forever. I was about to start talking about Factorio. Anyway. Okay. Oh, this is a good one. Every decision Wizards of the Coast has made since 2019.
What the fuck is Wizards of the Coast?
So Wizards of the Coast was this tiny little company that owned a few popular games, one of which being Dungeons and Dragons, the other one being Magic the Gathering.
Okay.
And also they were the publishers of Pokemon cards for a while.
Really?
Back in the day. But yes. So it's basically since, pandemonium in 2020, like every decision that Wizards of the Coast has made has made me like quit Magic the Gathering, and I'm like actively looking to switch my D&D group away from Dungeons and Dragons to literally anything else.
Right.
Because like they're very clearly like just so profit driven and trying to like suck people dry of their money instead of like thinking about the health of a game. And I played like I used to spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars on Magic the Gathering a year, and now like I won't touch it. I have friends that are like getting into it because Spider-Man's going to be in Magic the Gathering. They have found Magic the Gathering Final Fantasy, and like there was Lord of the Rings Magic the Gathering, which I dabbled in because I'm a huge Lord of the Rings nerd. But like I just feel yucky, and like the cards, I feel like the power levels being pushed. So it's really sad. Like they got acquired by Hasbro. And
really?
Yeah. So they're like a very profitable part of Hasbro, and I feel like they're just trying to maximize that. And
I did not know that. That's interesting.
It makes me really sad. And like obviously like in 2020, Critical Role and like Dimension 20 took off. And now a lot of people want to get into Dungeons and Dragons. And it used to be like you could just have the books and then maybe buy some dice and buy some little minis and play D&D. But now they're like, no, we want it to be online, and we want you to use like virtual tabletops and buy all this extra like rules and stuff. And I'm like, just let me play my base game and like tell my stories. And and they just basically like re-released the rules with like minor updates this last year. And I think it was because of Baldur's Gate 3's popularity, but that might be a conspiracy theory. By the way, it just irks me that.
So, do you not enjoy like the more like kind of gotcha type games because of that? No, I was gonna say because like I didn't feel super gotcha. Like I didn't feel like I had to spend a lot of money for Genshin Impact. But like stuff like that, like
that's actually another one on here is like the whole idea of like microtransactions that go beyond like cosmetic like upgrades. Like like in Diablo 4, or you know, in Marvel Rivals, you can get a skin. I don't care if a game sells skins. I will buy a cool skin if I like it.
Right.
But the second that I have to, like, you know, buy a gem that might turn into my new favorite waifu, I was like, I'm outie. So that's why I didn't get into Genshin, even though I'm sure I would have enjoyed it, just because of the sort of gacha microtransaction. You know, you have to spend money to keep up or to like engage with late game content.
Right. Yeah.
I think that's predatory. I would even prefer like a subscription service.
Right.
Like if Genshin was just a subscription service and that charged me $15 a month, and then I was able to just kind of like go about life without having to spend more money on loot boxes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or like
better. I mean,
better
even
gear.
in Genshin, like you could get, like, you're talking better weapons.
Yeah. Or like, you know, I think in Diablo 4 to get a mount, you have to like, you either can spend money to get the mount or you can like grind for hours and hours and hours. So everyone's just like, okay, I'm going to buy a horse, I guess.
Yep.
Yeah. And it's just stuff like that. That's like, okay, I've shelled out at this point in Canadian dollars, over $100 on your game. Like, what am I spending more money on now?
You know, to that point, it kind of brings up something interesting that I didn't think about it until you said it, of like buying mounts versus like grinding. And that's actually not one that I have written down, but something that I kind of miss, and it has become an irk, is the grind for certain games. So I have been playing World of Warcraft since I'm 30 now, since I was 14, I think, on and off. Not very, I don't know a lot of the lore. I don't know a lot of the story. People ask me, like, I don't fucking know. But I've been playing for a long time. But I think my favorite thing when I was like 14 to playing World of Warcraft was the grind, where like you worked your ass off to, at least for me, I don't know, maybe you could buy them. I don't know. I didn't have money back then, and maybe that's why I'm oblivious to it. But you would work your ass off to get to like level 14 to get your first mount, and then you'd work your ass off to get to level 30 and then 50 so you could have a flying one. And now it's like you get online, it's the first thing you see, and it's like pay $20 more to be level 50 and get a flying mount and the ability to fly wherever you want. And I'm like, what happened to the grind of the game? And I think it's because like guilds and I can't remember, some of the other things in the game became more popular, of like being able to do these like really incredible like runs of sorts. But it's like, what happened to the grind of just like the game instead of just pay to win?
Yeah, I think it's twofold, right? Like back in the day, there were probably websites that you could go to like have someone help boost you to level 50 quickly.
Yeah.
But now I'm sure Blizzard is just like, well, everyone hates us anyway. Let's just people will pay for it, right?
Yeah.
And
if they're gonna pay, might as well pay them.
Yeah, and there's the concept of like, quote unquote, leaving money on the table, where they just like they can just put these transactions in. And I think I saw somewhere, I saw a short, like a YouTube short of someone, like a game developer who used to work at Blizzard, talking about how a cosmetic for the horses that like one developer made more money in its lifetime than all of StarCraft 2.
That's wild.
So he was like, yeah, cosmetics and microtransactions are shitty, but they're there because people pay for it.
Oh yeah.
And it does irk me, and I refuse to pay for anything that's not like, you know, an expansion, like back in the day when they like DLC, right? Like I would do that. I would pay for DLC for, like, you know, when Elden Ring's DLC came out, I was like, yeah, no brainer, like get, you know, take my money.
Yeah.
But any kind of gotcha mechanic, I'm apt to uninstall a game.
Yeah. I mean, I don't blame you. There's a level to it for me. It depends on the amount of money somebody's expecting me to pay. Like, you know, I don't mind throwing a few games in or a few games.
Few dollars for your Pokemon pack to get that Pokemon pack fix.
Yeah, you know, like those kind of things, like, you know, don't really bother me that bad. But yeah, I think it's like Genshin was hard because like yeah, like for me to progress, I needed better weapons. And realistically, the only way to do that fast was to pay money to potentially get a drop that potentially had what I needed it. And yeah, I think my husband was a lot happier with me when I was paying $5 to get the Pokemon I wanted versus $30 on a pack of six packs in here. So but you know what? We all are what we are. Anyways,
I mean, dollar for dollar, you're actually spending less per pack now. That's $4 per pack instead of $5. Think
true.
about it. It's the math.
Yeah. The thing is like I was spending $5 a month, or now I'm like $5 per pack, but I want like 20 packs now. All right, I'll leave this one as my last one, okay?
Sure.
Because we've had a lot of cuts and runs of like randomness, which is typical, you know? So I'm not mad about it. Unskippable cutscenes. Bruh, please don't make me fucking watch a cutscene that I've already... Again, it's kind of like the needing to repeat an animation. If I've already played this and I lost the fight for the boss, please don't make me watch the 20-minute cutscene prior. Just let me skip it.
Or like for me, like I play Pokemon and they still don't have unskippable cutscenes, and I often will play a game 2, 3, 4 times in Pokemon.
Don't make me do this.
And I'm just like, I can't. I don't. The stories in Pokemon are so milquetoast anyway that I don't want to engage with it once. Like, let me skip. Just let me hit the plus button. It's right there. It's not doing anything right now.
Yep.
It could be the skip button.
That's the one thing I love about Expedition 33 is I've learned, because now I'm getting to the point where like, yeah, I die a few times. All right, great. Skip this cutscene. Just get me straight to the boss.
Hell yeah. I skip all of the this is probably also going to piss people off. I skip all of the cutscenes in Stardew now. I don't care.
Oh, even the first time I played, I skipped so many of them. I'd be like, I don't care. Whatever.
I had my little romance with Leah and Penny. I chose Leah and I stopped with cutscenes after that.
All right, give me your final best irk, Alex.
AI art. It's a big thing right now in board games. If I see a board game that uses AI art, I won't back it. There was one that there was a Kickstarter that was
pick right there. Honestly, didn't think about that.
And it's for a multitude of reasons.
I agree.
Pay your artists. Also, don't steal people's art to produce your own.
Yep.
And also, it's horrible for the environment. Just overall, it's an ick. It's an ick.
Yeah. That was the big thing. I remember when like Pal World came out, and like there's still people who play it, and I'm always like, you understand this is AI art, right? Like this is like it's AI video game, and and if I'm gonna play the fucking game like that, I'm just gonna go play fucking Pokemon. Like I don't need the Walmart version. I don't need the rip off version of Pokemon. I'll just go fucking play Pokemon. Like why are you guys playing this weird ass? And somebody out there is gonna get pissed at us for me saying this weird ass fucking secondhand Pokemon game with AI art in it.
You know what? There are much better. I could do a whole episode talking about games that are like Pokemon that don't use AI art.
Yeah.
There are a lot of them out there, and some of them are okay.
Yeah.
Nexamon's an okay game. And they don't use AI art, so at least they didn't in their first 2 games.
I think that's honestly a great one to like end with. If you guys are sitting here listening, you're going, what the fuck is wrong with AI art? And if you genuinely don't know, I'm talking about the people who genuinely don't know, I implore you to look into it, do your own research and stuff. But it's really crappy that there's just so many people who, you know, that's their livelihood, that's their job. And a lot of people who don't want like to make millions of dollars on doing it, they just do it because they like it. And there's just AI is out there just going, ooh, I'll take this piece of this and this piece of this, put it together, and it's not their own. It's other people's stuff that AI is then calling theirs and using it. So take a minute to look it up, understand what's going on. It's shit and it's crap. And I would implore you not to play games and stuff like that that is using AI art. So yeah, on that note, I hope you guys enjoyed this stuff. It was just, it's supposed to be fun, little silly. What are your icks and irks in video games? Of course, like I always say, I'm very interested if you guys have any other ones that you guys want to share with us. I get a lot, I don't want to say a lot, but I get YouTube comments every once in a while. And I think that's cool. I do see those ones. So I know it's hard to like be like, Lizzy, where would I comment? Because like it's not like we're uploading pictures for every episode, on Instagram or something. But because this has a place that you guys can comment on YouTube, feel free to comment on YouTube about where some of these the same, where some of them different, where's the ones that we missed, whatever it is. I want to hear from you guys. But we appreciate you guys. And today we're talking about things like I was talking about Kelly. This is an episode that is being recorded early. So when you guys are listening to this and you're like, what the hell are y'all talking about? It's because, it won't be put out until Sunday. But we appreciate you guys. Find us on Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, Apple. I was thinking of all of and not the actual streaming. I was just thinking of where do we show up on socials? Spotify.
You're on Threads, aren't you?
I'm on Threads.
I'm nowhere.
Yeah, but the most important part is you guys can find us on Spotify, Apple, basically wherever you listen to your podcast for the most part. I think with the exception of some of the weird ones. And we'll see you guys next time. Thanks, guys.